BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Radio Free Asia, a prominent voice for independent journalism in some of the world's most tightly controlled regions, is suspending its news operations. This significant step, unprecedented in the organization's nearly three-decade history, stems directly from the ongoing U.S. government shutdown and recent funding cuts enacted by the Trump administration targeting government-funded news services. Bei Fang, the president and CEO of RFA, confirmed the decision in a statement, highlighting the forced cessation of all remaining news content production. Fang explained that these measures are necessary to conserve limited on-hand resources and to preserve the possibility of resuming operations should consistent funding become available in the future. Radio Free Asia, established almost 30 years ago with the mission to report on China and other Asian nations lacking independent media, has been operating on a drastically reduced scale for months, relying on a skeleton staff and primarily producing a limited number of online stories. This comes as the administration has sought to curtail its funding, with President Trump's team having previously argued that organizations like RFA, along with Radio Europe, Radio Liberty and Voice of America, were poorly managed and represented a wasteful expenditure of government resources. The suspension of RFA, an outlet long considered a significant challenge to Beijing's narratives, occurs amidst a sensitive geopolitical period, following a high-profile meeting between the U.S. President and Chinese leader Xi Jinping during a trip to Asia. As part of the shutdown, Radio Free Asia will begin closing its overseas bureaus and will be laying off and providing severance to its staff members. Many of these employees have been on unpaid leave since last March. According to Fang, despite the severity of these actions, Fang expressed hope for the future, stating that these drastic measures position RFA, a private corporation, for a scenario where it could scale up and recommence delivering accurate, uncensored news to individuals residing in some of the world's most closed societies. RFA has been instrumental in bringing crucial stories to light, utilizing its journalists and contractors across Asia to report on sensitive issues such as the repression of Uyghurs in China, the ongoing repercussions of the military coup in Myanmar, and the precarious situation of defectors from North Korea. The outlet had been experiencing growth, with a notable 20% increase in website visitors between 2023 and 2024. Critics have been vocal about the implications of RFA's closure. Sophie Richardson, co-executive director of the Network of Chinese Human Rights Defenders, described the shutdown as a gift to dictators like Xi Jinping, particularly at a time when Beijing is actively working to control the flow of information and dictate which stories are told. Within the country, Nicholas Burns, the U.S. ambassador to China under President Joe Biden, echoed these concerns, taking to X to label the shuttering of RFA as a major mistake that will impede the U.S.'s ability to convey truth to the Chinese people and effectively counter Beijing's propaganda efforts. In contrast, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, which shares a similar structure as a privately held corporation funded by the government, has announced its intention to continue its news services for the foreseeable future. RFE-RL, operating in Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East, launched its own lawsuit against the administration. The organization reported receiving its last federal funding in September and is currently operating on reserves, implementing cost-saving measures such as reducing freelancer contracts, cutting programming, and placing some staff on partially paid leave. The divergence in approaches between RFA and RFE, Radio Liberty, despite their shared governing and funding structures, remains unclear. While both are government-funded private corporations, RFA is headquartered in North America and RFE, Radio Liberty, in Europe, potentially leading to differences in operational considerations due to varying labor laws. Voice of America, which historically focused on delivering news about the United States to international audiences, had already been operating on a severely limited basis following funding cuts and has essentially ceased operations due to the government shutdown. Some VOA employees have also initiated legal action to challenge the administration's plans.